ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं दंशयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Can repeat second chapter 39th shloka. Yesha te bhigita sankhye
एषा ते विहिता सांख्ये
बुद्धिर्योगे त्रिमां शृणु
बुद्धिर्योगे मां शृणु
या युक्तो यया पार्थ
बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ
कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि
कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि
नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति
नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति
प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते
प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते
स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य
स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य
त्रायते महतो भयात्
त्रायते
हे महतो भयात्
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः
व्यवसायात्मिका
बुद्धिः
बुद्धिः
एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्
व्यवसायिनाम्
Mute your mic now. The 39th shloka, Bhagavan Krishna said, Te abhigita esha sankhye. That is the knowledge about the Atma. It is this Vishay, this Sankhya. It is Jnanam. That Jnanam abhigita, it has been given to you. I have told you. Now, Buddhir yoge to imam shrunu. Now you listen to the yoga. Buddhihi means knowledge, the understanding with regard to the yoga, that is karma yoga. That you please listen. The topic here from now onwards, it is karma yoga topic. So this karma yoga is Bhagavan is glorifying the karma yoga because it is the topic is going to present. For the qualified jnanam, for the sadhaka qualifying it to be qualified or qualifying for the karma yoga. Therefore, there is only one means for moksha, that is jnanam. So that jnanam, for gaining that jnanam, need to have certain pakvata, the maturity, the understanding, certain pakvata is required, certain qualification, certain preparedness is required. For that, karma yoga is the means. So karma yoga is that understanding of karma yoga is important because it is a means for gaining the jnana yogyata prapti. For gaining the jnana yogyata qualification, the preparedness for jnanam, because knowledge, any knowledge can happen in the person only when the person is prepared for it. But unprepared, the jnanam cannot take place. Even though you give jnanam, that jnanam cannot take place. It requires the preparation. For the student who is in the 12th standard, you cannot give a PhD jnanam. Not possible because the person is not prepared. So he has to prepare to gain that jnana. Therefore, only he has to do UG, PG, and then finally PhD. So this, that's why jnana yogyata. First, you have to make the soil ready for jnanam to sprout. So karma yoga is a means. Karma yoga is a means for that jnana yogyata prapti. Not only karma yoga, any yoga. Then you can include any yoga. Any yoga becomes a sadhana. Any yoga can become a sadhanam, for jnana yogyata prapti. Ultimately, if that yoga is going to give that antakarana shuddhi, the mind which is free from raga dvesha, the mind which is free from the pressures of raga dvesha. Raga is like, dvesha is hatred, dislike. So that is the pressure. That liking and dislike, the like and dislike, they cause pressure in a person to run after objects, to refrain from the objects. Objects means could be a physical object, or it could be a mental object, or the person or thing or situation, whatever it may be, everything. Object means it's a karma. I mean, it is with reference to that you are the subject. So therefore, those things will not create any disturbance in you, should not create. If it create disturbance, then jnanam cannot happen, and jnanam also becomes stultified. Therefore, the yogyata prapti. For that karma yoga doing the karma, swakarma, once karma, whatever the karma, the duty which is ordained by the Shastram, or whatever the Laukika karma, the Laukika duty, what one has, whatever the role one plays in the family or in the society or wherever it is, that one has to play the role, do the karma in the form of worshipping, in the form of do the karma in taking that karma to be a worship, an offering to the Lord. So when the Lord is invoked in that form, and when that Lord is invoked in that form in the karma, then becomes the aradhana, that becomes the Ishvara aradhana. So therefore, the buddhi, the attitude of looking upon the karma as the work as the worship, which is an offering to the Bhagavan, that is karma yoga, buddhi. When karma yoga buddhi is there, then when karma yoga buddhi, that is doing karma with an attitude of worshipping the Lord, and whatever comes as the result of the karma, accepting as Ishvara Prasada, as the gift, as a prasada from the Lord, then one will be free from the pressures of the result of the karma. Whatever may be the result of karma, he will not be much bothered by that, accepting that it as Ishvara Prasada. This is what Bhagavan has given for the karma, for the worship I offered. That buddhi keeps a person relatively free from ragadvesha. When the mind becomes relatively free from ragadvesha, in that mind only, that in that antakarna, the shuddhi, that is called antakarna shuddhi. In that chitta, which is shuddha antakarne eva, this jnanam, the jnanam becomes palati, jnanam becomes fructified. Jnanam fructifies only in that buddhi. Therefore, karma yoga is a means. And therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says karma yoga, karma bandham prakasyasi. When endowed with this buddhi, with this attitude, then the karma yoga becomes the means for the destruction of the bondage created by the karma. So, for snapping the karma bandha, what required is karma. Snapping the karma through karma. That becomes a means. That karma yoga becomes a means. Karma bandham prakasyasi. You will be free from karma bandha. How? By making you qualified for receiving the knowledge and gaining jnanam, you become free from the bondage of karma. So, karma yoga is parampara karanam. It is the parampara karanam means it is the karanam, the cause for moksha, not directly, indirectly. Indirect means for moksha. So for indirect means there can be many means. Ashtanga yoga, yama, niyama, pranayama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, all the Ashtanga yoga, any yoga can be an aid and a help for gaining this. Any yoga will come under karma yoga only. There are only two yogas. One is jnana yoga, other one is karma yoga. All other yogas, other than jnana yoga, they come under karma yoga only. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says that karma yoga, doing that karma yoga, neha abhikramanashaha asti. Abhikramanashaha, there is no loss. There is no abhikrama dosha, aramba dosha. There is no aramba dosha. there is no aramba. The karma which is started, that will not have the dosha, aramba dosha. Avikrama nashaha nasti. That is, when you do a karma, the result of karma is not predictable. Whereas when karma yoga is done, then that dosha, the dosha, that the result being not known, the dosha is not the result is known. What is the result? Antakarna shuddhi is the result. Therefore, there is no loss in taking up this karma yoga. And also pratyavaya. Pratyavaya is also not that. Pratyavaya is viparita pala, opposite result also not that. When there is no opposite result, and when there is no loss in taking up the karma, then take up this karma yoga. Even a little of this karma yoga, swalpamapi dharmasya, even the little of this karma yoga, it protects you from the great fear of samsara. So therefore, swalpamapyasya karmasya mahato bhayat trayate iti. Then Bhagavan Krishna said the next important thing, that is the next shloka, which we saw. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekega kurunandana Bagushaka hi anantasya buddhayaha avyavasayina. So two things are talked about. One is vyavasayatmika buddhihi, other one is avyavasayatmika buddhihi. Jai Shri Ji, please mute your mic. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi, that is one thing, and second one is avyavasayatmika buddhihi. What is vyavasayatmika buddhihi? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi is nischayatmika buddhihi. Nischayatmika buddhihi, Nischayatmika buddhihi, the buddhi which is very clear, which is has a very clear understanding. Buddhihi, the clear understanding. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi, the clear understanding. The clear understanding. Nischayatmika buddhihi. With reference to what? With reference to what you want to gain in life. There is clear understanding. With reference to what you want to gain in life, there is clear understanding. The tatparyam of the Shastra, the vision of the Gita also being a Upanishad, Shastram. Therefore, the vision of the Shastram is moksha is already siddhaha. Moksha is already praptaha. You are already free. You are already free. You are already completely free. Not partially. You are completely already free. You are already muktaha. So, when you are already muktaha, but I don't know that I am muktaha, I don't know that I am free, but Shastram says I am free. So that is the vision of the Shastram. I don't know that, I don't have that jnanam, therefore I consider myself to be bandhaha. So now this bandha karanam is ajnana. This bandha karanam is ajnanam. I don't know. I am ignorant, therefore I don't know. Agam Brahma Asmi, I am that Brahma. I am that Satchit Ananda Brahma, which is Purnaha, which is complete, which is free from fear, which is the source of the security. I am already secured because I, being Brahma, therefore I am already secured. I don't want to be secured because already I am secured. Agam Purna, I am complete. I don't have to work for completeness, and I don't have to work for happiness because my Swarupa is Ananda. My Swarupam is Ananda. How do we know that my Swarupam is Ananda? The very attempt to look for happiness, the very attempt to the hunting for happiness. All our pursuit is centered around this gaining happiness. Whatever happiness we gain, it is only anitya. It is only anitya ananda. It is not nitya ananda. We get only anitya ananda through all our undertakings. Through all our karma, the action, the ananda, what we gain is anitya. There is no nitya ananda. Nitya paripurna niratishaya ananda prapti is not possible through any pursuit, any karma, any undertaking. It is not possible. But I am looking for that. Even though I know this ananda, this paripurna ananda, it is not possible, but still I keep undertaking some activities because I cannot be away from being ananda. That is my swarupa. That I don't know. Therefore, only through different means I try to gain. I try to gain. I try to be happy. So, therefore, the very attempt, the very prayatna itself shows that your swarupa must be ananda. Therefore, only you look for happiness through various pursuits. If your swarupa is not ananda, then you will not undertake any action for fulfillment, for happiness, or for security. So that itself proves that it must be your swarupa. If that is my swarupa, then I should know it, but I don't know. Therefore, ajnanam. And for ajnana nivritti eva, that removal of that ajnanam only can really make me see what I am, that I am already free. That I can see only when I become free from ajnanam. Therefore, the tatparyam of the Shastram is that you are already free. You are the one you are seeking through all the different pursuits. So therefore, that knowledge alone removes ajnanam, and that alone makes me free. Therefore, the knowledge is nothing but the removal of ajnanam. The removal of ajnanam is gaining. There is no gaining new knowledge. If you are not known, if this Brahma, that Aham, Atma, Brahma, if it is not known, if it is something new to be known, then it becomes a new knowledge. It becomes like any other knowledge, physics knowledge, chemistry knowledge. I don't know physics, I don't know French, therefore I have to learn French. It is a new knowledge. But this knowledge is not a new knowledge. It is known at the same time not known, not completely known. That is why it's problem. If something is completely known, then there is no problem. If it is not completely known, then only all the possibilities are there to commit mistakes. Therefore, we commit mistake in taking ourselves to be a limited individual, a limited person, a jiva. All the superimpositions are made on this Brahma Atma, which is Purnaha, which is Ananda Swarupaha. That Purna Atma is taken to be the Parichinna Atma, the Parichinna Jiva. That Ananda Atma taken to be the Dukkha Atma. That is because of Ajnanam, taking myself to be limited. Therefore, Ajnana Nivrittihi eva Jnanam. Therefore, it is not new knowledge. It is the removal of wrong knowledge. It is the removal of wrong understanding. That is what the Shastram says. That is what the commitment of the Shastram also. That is why teaching. For receiving this teaching, the Antakaranam has to be prepared. The mind which is ready by following the Karma Yoga, that mind alone can receive this Jnanam. So, therefore, the commitment is for that knowledge. The commitment, the understanding, the commitment, and therefore the commitment by taking up the particular lifestyle is for gaining that knowledge. Therefore, there is a clear, a well-ascertained understanding with reference to what I want in life. That is called Purushartha Nishchaya. Moksha is what I want. Therefore, all the other activities, all the other Purushartha they fall in place, they subserve my only Purushartha, which is Moksha Purushartha. Moksha Purushartha doesn't mean other Purushartha should be discarded, should not be taken upon, should not be followed. No, not like that. Other Purushartha, it can subserve, it can help, it can help, it will not contradict the Moksha Purushartha. Moksha will occupy the top place in the priority list. Other Purushartha will subserve. That buddhi, that understanding is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi. So, Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi Eka Iha Kurunandana. The Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, how many buddhi, how many understanding possible? There could be only one understanding. So, with reference to the moksha, with reference to this karma yoga, which is the means for moksha, there is a clear understanding. There is a clear understanding with reference to this. With reference to this, there is a well ascertained, a clear, unwavering understanding. Eka buddhihi asti. Whereas the other people who are committed to this artha kama purushartha, for them artha and kama become the priority. Therefore, for them the means, the sadhyam, and therefore the means, they are many. They are bahushakaha. They are many, and they are many branched, multi-branched. Because many sadhyams are there, many goals are there in life to be achieved. Therefore, many sadhanams are there, many means are there, and many sadhyam, therefore many means. Therefore, it is endless. So, endless sadhanam, endless the ends, and therefore endless means are there. So, therefore, the means and ends are multi-branched and it is endless. For whom? For this Avyavasayatmika Buddhihi, that for the people who do not have this understanding, there is no Purushartha Nishchaya. So, Avyavasayatmikanam Tesham, this understanding is many. So, this understanding is many. That is, people who are not committed to moksha, not committed to karma yoga, they have many goals, they have many means and many ends. Whereas the one who is committed to moksha and therefore following karma yoga, for them, this moksha buddhi, the buddhi for moksha is vyavasayatmika. There is a clear, ascertained understanding with regard to this atma jnanam and therefore with regard to this karma yoga. What is that understanding? For gaining this jnanam, I have to study Shastram. How to study Shastram? Not one's own, not picking up the Upanishad or the Gita book and reading on one's own. No, Shastram has to be taught. That is why Shravanam. It has to be listened to. The word Shravanam, Shrotram Shravanam, Shrotrendriya is ear. That you hear, the ear becomes a means for what? For listening. Therefore, Shravanam, it has to be heard, it has to be listened to. Not it is Patanam. It is not Patanam, it is Shastra Shravanam, not Shastra Patanam. Shastra Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Listening to the Shastram and clearing all the possible doubts and contemplating on the teaching, that is called Jnana Yoga. That will happen only when there is a certain preparedness, Chitta Shuddhi, Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana means the inner instrument. Bahikaranam is external instruments. External instruments are the sense organs. And Antakaranam is the mind, the buddhi. That has to be relatively prepared. It should be ready to receive the jnana. For that preparation is required. So that is called sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. That is possible, that is gainable only by karma yoga. So therefore, with regard to this, that karma yoga is not sakshat karanam, it is parampara karanam, it is indirect means for moksha. By karma yoga, by doing karma yoga, I know what is sadhyam, what I want to achieve, what is to be achieved, I know. Therefore, there is clarity, clear understanding, unwavering, clear, vyavasayatmika, eka buddhi asti. There is well ascertained, unwavering thinking, understanding is there. For whom? For the moksharthi, for the one who is committed to moksha. What about for karmi? Karmi is the one who is engaged in karma for gaining certain limited ends. Those are karmi. They do various karma because they have various desires. They do various kamya karma. Why? Because they have kama desires for gaining the limited ends. After gaining the limited ends, again they continue to have kama to gain another end. So therefore it is endless. Endless ends they have. That is why anantaha, endless ends, endless pursuits they have. Therefore anantaha, and it is bahushakaha, it is multi-branched. How many branches? You cannot count. So many branches are there. As many branches, as many ends are there. So many, life will continue. Life will keep on continuing. Many janma will continue. That is why punarapi maranam, punarapi janam, and there is no commitment to moksha. When there is no commitment to moksha, how this marana janana, how this can be avoided? Maranam is dukkam. Jananam is also equally dukkam. And while jivanam, living also is equally dukkam. If you are ajnani, it is dukkam eva. So sarvam paravasham dukkam, sarvam atmavasham dukkam. If you have jnanam, then it is dukkam. Otherwise, it is dukkam eva. Therefore, when this moksha is not the goal, then everything become your goal. It means you will have innumerable number of goals. As Puja Swamiji says, when infinite is not a goal, then you will have infinite goals. You will have infinite goals. So therefore, that is the buddhi, the understanding of avyavasagina, the one who do not have clear understanding. Avyavasagina, the person who doesn't have the viveka to understand the purushartha, viveka to understand the pursuit, what he wants in life. That is not clear. Those person, they are avyavasayi. Tesham buddhayaha, their understanding is bahushakaha, multi-branch, and anantaha. Not only they talk about it. They talk about very nicely and make other person also follow that. They choose very nice words, attractive words. They have, by saying that, they inspire other people also to follow that. And they also make the shastram. They twist the shastram as though twist the shastram and say the shastram also says the same thing. So that is what Bhagavan Krishna says. Because of this avyavasayatmika buddhi, because of this understanding, the wrong understanding, what they pursue and what they preach, all going to be unproductive. And it will keep oneself very busy in samsara. That is what the next shloka says. We will read. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschitah vedavadarataः partha Nyadastiti vadinah kamatmanasvargaparaha janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahula bhogaishvarya gatim prati bhogaishvarya prasaktanam daya pahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः
समाधौ न विधीयते.
समाधौ न विधीयते.
These three shlokas have to be read together, and because the anvaya of the shloka individually not possible. So three shloka in fact make one sentence. When you do the anvaya, when you make them into the form of a prose. So through this three shlokas, Bhagavan Krishna says, he talks about the understanding. He talks about those people who do not have clear understanding with regard to the Purushartha that they want to gain in life. So, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi, that buddhi, the understanding, clear understanding with regard to the Atma or with regard to the Karma Yoga. Samadho na vidiyate. It doesn't take place in the mind of samadho. Samadho means antakarana, buddhi. And buddhihi buddho na vidiyate. Buddhi means understanding. Samadho is buddho, that is in the buddhi. The word buddhi is used in many senses in the Gita. Buddhi, the word buddhi is used in many senses, and also the different words are used for buddhi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means the clear understanding, well ascertained, clear understanding, the clarity. The clarity is what important. When clarity is not there, the whole life becomes meaningless. Because when clear under buddhi is not there, then how the action, with regard to action also there will not be clarity, and how the person can gain really what he wants in life. So clarity is not there, then there is no clarity with regard to what he wants to achieve in life. When clarity is not there with regard to what he wants, and how can he take up the karma? So the ends, with regard to the end, there must be clarity. And for the achieving the end, then with regard to the means also, there should be clarity. When this becomes clear, then one has to focus on the means. The means will take care of the end. That is what the clarity is. And this clarity, this Vyavasayatmika buddhi, na vidiyate, it doesn't take place samadho in the buddhi. Samadho doesn't take place in the buddhi. It doesn't take place for whom? For some people. Who are those people? That is given. That is only given in the shloka. Who are those people? Those people are Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Apahruta Chetasam. Bhoga Aishwarya. Bhoga means this indulging in pleasures. Indulging in pleasure. Bhoga Aishwarya is power. So they have the desire for indulgence and power. Propelled by the desire for indulgence and power, and therefore they are in prasaktanam, they are engrossed in that. They are committed to bhoga and aishwarya, and therefore by taya, that is taya apahrita chetasam, by that chetas, the buddhi, the mind is apahrita. It is taken away, robbed away by the desires for bhoga and aishwarya. The mind is overpowered. The mind taya apagrita chetasam. Bhoga aishwarya prasaktanam taya apagrita chetasam. Or taya can mean the words. The words of those people. The words are there in the first shloka. Yam imam pushpitam vacham. So the taya can mean that. Taya, these people, they speak very nice words. Pushpitam vacham, very pushpitam, flowery words they speak. Pravadanti, they speak very nice words. So carried over by the words of those people, that is, who are they? Those who don't have clear understanding with regard to what they want to gain in life, the Purushartha, that understanding is not there, and they are engrossed in Bhoga and Aishwarya. Therefore, taken over by the words of those people, Apakrita Chetasam, their mind is robbed away. Their mind is robbed away. So the mind of the person which is robbed away by the words of the people. Who are those people? That is what is described in the shloka. So the mind of the people robbed away by the words of those people who do not have clear understanding, and therefore they speak very nice, flowery words. And there are adjectives referring to this type of people. The referring to the adjectives used referring to the speech of this type of people. Those people are the speakers of nice words. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. They speak nice words. And Vedavadarataha. They talk about the karma. Vedavadarataha means they talk about Veda. Vedavada means what the Veda says. Vedavadarataha, they talk about the karma and karmapala. Vedavadarataha and Avipaschitaha. Avipaschitaha means not intelligent, unintelligent people. They are Vedavadarataha, unintelligent people. They talk about the Veda. They talk about the Vedavadarataha, the karma kanda portion of the Veda. They talk about karma. Karma is karma and karmapala. For them, the whole Veda is only karma, talks about karma, because they are interested in the karmapala in the form of sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. For them, the whole Veda is only is karma, talks about karma. Therefore, they talk about karma kanda and karma, and therefore karmapala, and those are unintelligent people. They cannot see the jnana kanda of the Veda. They don't understand the Vedanta part of the Veda. Therefore, they are unintelligent people, avipaschitaha, and they also argue, na anyata asti iti. Other than karma, there is nothing else is there. You have to keep on doing karma. If you want sukham, you keep on doing karma. And therefore, they speak very nice words, all such words. And they are full of desires. Kamat manaha. Kamat manaha. Kama atmanaha means they are the swarupa. They are the kamatmanaha. They are full of this kama, the desires. Kama atmanaha. They are full of this desire for the limited ends. And swarga paraha, they are committed to swarga loka, because swarga loka is the highest pleasure, highest sukham possible. Swargaloka, which is gained after maranam, after this life. There, the jiva enjoys the highest pleasure. The maximum highest pleasure what a jiva can enjoy is the enjoyment in Swargaloka. So Swargaparaha, therefore they are committed to going to Swargaloka. Swargaloka is a goal, not moksha. So therefore, these people who are Veda Vadarataha, who are Avipaschitaha, na anyata asti iti vadinaha, and they are kamatmanaha, swargaparaha. These people, what they do, they speak nice words. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. Pushpitam, they speak very nice, flowery words. Kriya Vishesha Bagulam. Kriya Vishesha Bagulam. The Kriya means action. Vishesha Bagulam. The Kriya, the action which is saturated, which is complete with lot of karma, the rituals. Bhogeshwarya Gatim Prati. They talk about the karma, and karma is for Bhoga Aishwarya. Bhogeshwarya Gatim Prati. For gaining the Bhoga and Aishwarya. For the attainment of this Bhoga and Aishwarya, they talk about various Kriya, various karma, and flowery words, nice words they speak. By such words, flowery words, what happens to the mind of the person who doesn't have viveka? His viveka is robbed away. It makes a person engrossed in Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam, Purushanam, Taya, by the words, Apakrita Chetasam, the Chetas, the mind is carried over by that, by the flowery speeches of these people. And therefore, Tesham, Devasayatmika Buddhihi, na vidiyate. Therefore, this understanding, clear doesn't understanding, doesn't take place in the mind of the person who listen to such flowery speeches of the people who don't have this Devasayatmika Buddhihi. This shloka is similar to Avidyayam Antare Vartamanaha. That shloka what we read in Mundaka Upanishad as well as in Kathopanishad. Vidyayam Vartamanaha Gandharmyamanaha Pariyanti Mudaha. They are Vidyayam, they remain in Avidya. They remain in Avidya and they continue to go from Janma to Marana. And they talk about the Veda, saying that the Tatparyam of the Veda is only karma, and therefore karma pala, and I guess the karma pala is Svargaloka Praptihi. So iti they talk. It is like they leading the blind. Yata niyamanaha, and then niyamanaha yatandaha, like the blind leading the blind, falling into the ditch and get destroyed. Similarly, these people whose minds are carried over by the words of this two types of people are there. The one who is a listener and one who is a talker. So the listener whose mind is robbed away by the words of the speaker, and he speak nice words. Both do not have buddhi. The listener doesn't have buddhi, and the hearer and the one who talks, his mind is already carried over by the pleasures of the world, this world as well as that world. So they don't have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So by the words of them, this buddhi of this person, the buddhi of this person also is robbed away. Therefore, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi na vidiyate. Therefore, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, that clear understanding, doesn't take place. So therefore Bhagavan Krishna says there should be clear understanding. There should be clear understanding, clear buddhi with regard to the karma and karma yoga. With regard to karma and karma yoga, there should be clear understanding. With regard to karma is a means for gaining the limited ends, whereas karma yoga is for gaining the unlimited, for moksha. So giving up the war is not because of karma yoga, not because of karma yoga. It is because of your weakness. Because of your weakness, you are a karmi. By doing this karma, you want to gain the limited end. Instead of being a karmi, gaining the limited end. If you are a moksharthi, then do the same thing with the spirit of karma yoga. Do the same war with the spirit of karma yoga. That becomes a means for the moksha. So, contrasting the difference between the karmi and the karma yogi. Karmi do not enjoy Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, whereas karma yogi enjoys Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Being a karma yogi, therefore, you don't listen to the words of such people because they speak nice words and they are not really intelligent. Their commitment is only Swarga. They are completely full of this karma, and that karma continues to give the janma, and therefore the karma, the form of the janma, karma, palapradam, and kriya vishesha bagulam, the kriya, the action, the kriya vishesha bagulam, janma karma palapradam. Towards that only they have got commitment. Bhoga Aishwaryam gatim prati, for the enjoyment of Bhoga and Aishwarya only they have commitment. Therefore, taken over by the words of them, you don't become a karmi. You have the clear understanding with regard to this. This is what the meaning of this shloka. Therefore, the people who are committed to moksha, they will not have this avyavasayatmika buddhi. People committed to the artha and kama, they alone have this buddhi, and therefore their mind will be robbed away by the Veda Purva. That is the first part of the Veda. In fact, for these people, the whole Veda, the Tatparyam of whole Veda is only karma. Therefore, they talk about karma and carried over by the karma and karma pala, because karma pala is bhoga, aishwarya. So carried over by the karma pala, they take up various karma. Therefore, no clear understanding is there with regard to what they want to achieve and therefore what they do also. So that is the difference between a karmi and a karma yogi. Therefore, to be a karma yogi, if you are karma yogi, then you will not give up the war. If you are a karmi, then you will give up the war. If you are a karmi, then you don't have vyavasayatmika buddhi. If you are karma yogi, then you have got very clear understanding with reference to what you want. You want moksha, therefore only you are karma yogi. No one can be a karma yogi without having the moksha as a sadhya. If moksha as a sadhya is not there, how can a person do karma in the spirit of karma yoga, with the attitude of karma yoga? Not possible. So karma yoga means you are a moksharthi. You are committed to moksha. What is karma yoga? Ishvararpana buddhi and prasada buddhi. That is karma yoga. That attitude behind this karma. Karma being the same, it is done both by the karmi and karma yoga. There is a difference. The difference is because of that understanding. Because of the understanding, because of the commitment. So therefore, such commitment, such understanding cannot take place in the mind of the people who do not have clear understanding. That is the meaning of these three shlokas. Then the next shloka we will read. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna
Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna
Nirdvandho Nityasatvastaha
Nirdvandho Nityasattvasya
Niryogakshema Atmavan. What is the attitude of a karma yogi is being talked about in this shloka. So Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha. This Veda, they are Traigunya Vishayaha. They are the Traigunya Vishayaha. It means the Veda. The Veda refer to the Traigunya Vishaya means referring to the Karma Kanda portion of the Veda. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha. Traigunya means Traigunya referring to this Traigunya, this Arthakama. This Traigunya is three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, these three gunas manifest in the action. So Veda, the Karma Kanda portion of the Veda talks about the karma, and the karma is characterized by this three guna, exhibition of this three guna, manifestation of these three guna, Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So because of the guna, therefore the corresponding palam also, differs. Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasa karma, and therefore corresponding palam are gained by doing karma. Therefore Traigunyam iti. Therefore Traigunyam. So the subject, the Vishaya of the Veda Purva is Traigunyam. That is, involves karma done with the three, karma done with the three gunas, and therefore karma pala differ in keeping with the guna. So therefore they all called Traigunya, the activity, the karma, and the result. It is the subject matter of the Veda Purva, that is the Purva Bhava of the Veda. It is Samsara Vishaya, means Samsara Vishaya. Traigunya means Samsara Vishaya. It is samsara vishaya. Karma and karma pala is samsara vishaya. Therefore, hey Arjuna, like this trigunyo bhava, you become free from these three. Propelled by these three guna, don't do karma, you become free from that guna. You outgrow. May you outgrow iti. Be free from three guna. That is, may you outgrow from the desire for sense, desire for the objects, desire for the sense objects of this world, as well as the desire for Swargaloka Prapti iti. By how? By Viveka. Viveki Bhutva Nirdvandva Bhava. May you become free from Nirdvandva, free from the pairs of opposites. Nirdvandvaha. May you be free from the pairs of the opposites. Nitya Sattvastaha. Nirdvandva Bhava, Nitya Sattvasto Bhava. Nitya Sattvastaha means may you be endowed with Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna means Viveka. So may you be a Viveki. May you have the clear understanding, the discerning. And therefore, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. May you develop this understanding, this Viveka, and Niryoga Kshema. What is Niryoga Kshema? Two things are there, yoga and Kshema. Yoga is gaining. Kshema is protection. So, Niryoga Kshemo Bhava means you become free. You become free from the concern for gaining and protecting. Because that only keeps the mind always busy. Yoga and Kshema. The whole life is yoga and Kshema, gaining and protection. That is called Yoga Kshema. You become free from gaining yoga and Kshema. Atmavan Bhava. May you become the Atmavan. May you become the master of yourself. Let not you be carried over by the desires, and therefore by taking up the karma of the karma for gaining these certain limited ends. So, propelled by the three guna, taking up karma, and therefore enjoying karma pala, all this will bring in the sukha dukkha, that dvandva, sukha dukkha anubhava, it will bring you. May you become free from that. May you become free from nirdvandvaha, from the pairs of opposite, and nitya sattvastaha, remaining in sattva guna, that is, be a viveki, and niryoga kshama, let you not have concern for the acquisition and protection. Bhagavan will take care when you do the karma with the spirit of karma yoga. So may you niryoga kshemaha bhava, atmavan bhava, may you become the master of yourself. That is the meaning. More on this shloka we will see. We will see that in the next shloka. It is an important shloka. We will discuss further on this. This is a simple meaning of this shloka. We will see the next further elaborate. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಶರಣ್ ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಜಿ.